Well, hello, welcome to I Love Gay Today, sponsored by GayRealEstate.com. And we are here in Los Angeles, back in the world of film and movies, and we're here with Victor Yates. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Very good. I was excited to meet with you today. I'm not a stalker, but
Ah,
no, I love the work you do, and I love how you're so good at getting the word out about what you're doing. And so, but no, you've been, I guess for a while now, you've been really kind of at the forefront of putting LGBTQ filmmakers and films and film festivals, and especially with a nice lens towards focusing on queer people of color. But you've really been bringing kind of their voices to light with some of the work you've been doing.
oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I have a interesting journey to YouTube. I worked at a trade school in Long Beach for about 8 years, and during that time, I was in a writing program,
Yeah.
and to I was always thinking about what would I do after the writing program. So I was working for a local LGBT blog, writing, cranking out maybe 2 articles per week. And then one day I decided to just audio record the interview. And after that, I thought, what if I just had like a camera and I visually recorded the interview with someone? Like, what would that look like?
Yeah.
And so I started to um, reach out to local activists in LA who are people of color. And I started interviewing them for this blog. So I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Like, I would love to take this to like another level. And so, with my job at the trade school, it was a very toxic environment. And so I left there and I started working in social media for a dermatologist. And I kind of fibbed on my resume and I told them that I could use Adobe Premiere Pro, which I couldn't. And so I was at work figuring out how to use it. And I became skilled at Adobe Premiere Pro, which is a video editing software. And
Yeah.
so I was there for a year. The pandemic happened. And so I thought, why not go back to what I love, which is video editing and interviewing people for YouTube. And so I started playing more with YouTube. And then maybe it was the end of 2020 that I started focusing on films for YouTube. It was kind of like more general, like LGBT news information. And so then I decided that I am I would love to focus more on films because films are universal. I feature a lot of foreign films. I love foreign films, but I love plot and character development. Not saying that American films don't have that at all. But I love film. Like,
Yeah.
because of the pandemic, I started looking at streaming services, which I did not before. I was working on articles. I published a novel in 2015. And so I was really more into kind of like the literary world. And so because of the pandemic, like I started just watching films all day long. And that's what kept me sane during the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah.
And so because of all of those experiences, that's what led me to YouTube and focusing on LGBT films and movies and TV shows.
That's amazing. I will tell you that not only do I love hearing that, but I mean, there's a lot of people out there that they're especially up and coming, and they're trying to create kind of their own voice and figure out what they want to do. And I think they're going to love hearing this because a lot
Oh,
of times they don't know how to get from point A to point
yeah.
Z. And but it also shows that, I mean, I think I would guess that that's a big part of why your YouTube channel is so popular now, is because it sounds like that's a passion of yours. It's a personal passion that you've kind of
Yeah.
instilled in your work.
Yeah. It's so funny. Funny that you say that. I have a very bedroom voice. And so a lot of the comments that I receive from people is that they listen to me late at night because I put them to sleep. Um, so I don't know how to take that. I don't know if it's a compliment or a dig.
Yeah.
Um, But I love the fact that people around the world watch the channel. I actually include subtitles in about 20 different languages. And so, because of that, there are a lot of people who watch me in Brazil. There are a lot of people that watch me in the UK. And I love communicating with them using like Google Translate.
Yeah, yeah,
And so, more people in Brazil than the UK. But it's, YouTube is one of it technically it's not like a social media platform,
yeah,
but it feels like a social media platform because they have the community tab where you can post photos. They now have shorts, which are it's the competitor for TikTok.
yeah, yeah.
And so more people get their information from YouTube than before the pandemic. And so it's a beautiful way to keep in touch with people. And I love getting comments where people are excited about learning about new films that they had never heard about. And I also love talking about film festivals. I'm working with the Black Alphabet Film Festival, which they center Black LGBTQ plus stories. They're headquartered in Chicago, and it's coming up the 13th through the 15th of October. And so I have been interviewing various directors who their films were selected for the film festival. And so I love also introducing the viewers to LGBT companies that they've never heard of. And so I've worked with a number of different companies where individuals are like, had you not highlighted this company, I wouldn't know about them. So it's really a beautiful way to really create space. I'm originally from Florida. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I would go to YouTube to find community and to find spaces because I didn't have a large queer community, and so that's where I found it. And so it's really beautiful for me to have gone from going to looking at YouTube to find my tribe.
Yeah.
And now that I feel like I create space now on YouTube. So it's I just I love the experience of YouTube and social media as well.
But it really is it's just fun because you know what happens is that especially I was just at a travel conference last week. And so in the travel world, there seems to be such a an anchor in the world of Instagram Reels and TikTok. That seems to be their favorite preferred platforms. But you know, as you go
Yeah.
out into other marketplaces, you'll see it expands from there. And some and you go to Palm Springs, they love Facebook. Um,
Yes.
but for our company, it's more Twitter, LinkedIn, and if it wasn't for Twitter, I probably wouldn't know much about what you're doing because you're very good at posting and tagging folks the right way. But before we even talk about YouTube, it's always interesting because I don't know if you notice the same thing I do. Is that on Twitter you'll find a lot of these new up and coming podcasters and new media content creators, and they're really leveraging Twitter to be their main marketing vehicle, just to really get the word out, much more so than some of those other platforms.
Yeah. You I so social media is beautiful in that you can really go after a particular demographic. My YouTube channel actually attracts gay men who are 45 and up. And so I find that that demographic, they use Twitter more than any other social media platform.
Yeah.
And so I'm not as active. I just started a TikTok account because
Okay.
TikTok is a little overwhelming for me. You have to use a lot of transitions and a lot of effects. And I'm not that type of person. And TikTok, Instagram, they're a younger demographic, and so I love IG Reels in that I work for and I'm a poet as well, so I work with a queer typewriter poetry collective, and so I work on their social media. They're called Pride Poets, by the way,
Yeah.
and I do a lot of IG Reels for them. But for myself, I just hate IG Reels because like they're so stressful because you instantly see the analytics, and that just kind of like I
Yeah.
spiral looking at them. But it's a beautiful way to connect with people.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm looking at analytics constantly, so I know the best time to post on Instagram, the best time to post on Twitter. Um, Twitter, it's good to post throughout the day with Twitter because the algorithm will pick up and send it out to people that follow you and to people who you have similar interests.
Yeah.
With Instagram, I like to post around either 3 a.m. or 6 a.m. because I know that people in New York on the East Coast, they'll be able to see it. And then once people on the West Coast start waking up, they'll be able to see it as well. And then the algorithm picks it up that way. With TikTok, it's a different beast altogether. Like I don't even know how TikTok works.
Yeah.
But that's the beautiful thing about social media is that you can really um, direct content to particular groups of people for different reasons as well.
Yeah, no, this is great to hear. I won't overdo it because otherwise I can fall into a rabbit hole of talking too much about X/Twitter. I will say
Yeah,
that you're exactly on. The trick is the structure, which is tagging them, and then if the folks in your post like the post, then it has more of a life. But I will
yeah,
tell you that what goes against the grain of the timing is that it's all based upon when somebody retweets or
yeah,
reposts. The moment you
yeah,
get a repost, even if it's 3 days later, even if it's a week later, all of a sudden the life of that post goes up again. It's like
yeah.
it's kind of like it just continues along on this wave. And so that's the trick is, of course we all want tons of reposts, but I have analyzed it and watched and said, wow, it's magic. How
It's funny because I have a few content creator friends, and I have about 80,000 followers on YouTube, but on the other platforms, it's really low.
yeah,
And so I'm trying to catch up with my content creator friends. And
yeah,
so we've been like plotting and scheming about ways to do that. But it is so difficult because I focus more on YouTube.
yeah,
And so I really have to have a schedule for posting for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I don't really post on Facebook anymore because it becomes overwhelming having to
yeah,
post on all of these sites. And it's just me. Like I don't have like someone that assists me. And so for my YouTube videos, it's a lot of work. It takes about a week to create one video with everything that I do with it, from the voiceover to securing the visuals to the editing. It takes a lot. And so to then create kind of like smaller clips for all of the other social media platforms, it's a lot.
yeah,
Um, but I really, there's kind of like social media. If I would have had it when I was like in middle school, I think I would be a different person
yeah.
because I feel um, this sense of connection
Mhm.
with people who subscribe to my YouTube channel, who follow me on all of these other platforms, because especially I felt it during the pandemic because I couldn't reach out. I could call my friends, but I couldn't see them. And so I think that's why the metaverse is really popular, is
Yeah.
because you can become whoever you want on social media. It's a curated experience. And so I feel um a real sense of connection with some people that I've never even met. A close friend of mine, we met during the pandemic because of YouTube, and his name is Nigel Battle. Hi, Nigel. He's going to watch this, and he is a content creator via YouTube, and we have never met, but he lives in Jersey area. But we talk constantly about our goals, um, things that we kind of like the direction that we want to take our YouTube channels. But we FaceTime each other. We're constantly on Messenger, and I have a stronger connection with Nigel
Yeah.
than like some people that I know in LA. And so it's a beautiful thing. It's a new way to connect with people.
Yeah. I was curious. you've got all those followers on YouTube. Was there any magic to that, or was it just you just continuously creating really good quality content?
So you know what? That's a funny story. So during the pandemic, I took digital media classes at a community college. And so that really changed um, how I edited content. And I always say quality over quantity. And because of those classes, my editing skills improved dramatically.
Yeah.
And I survived off of art and literary grants through the pandemic. So I created a number of like poetry short films, and I had a film selected for a film festival in Berlin. So I was in Berlin, and I was trying to think of like a video to post next on my channel, and it was for B-Boy Blues. And I posted the video maybe at like 10 p.m. and the numbers were just shocking.
Yeah.
Like it kind of like went viral for me. And so I was like, oh, and that's when I started creating more film related content. And so you have to know what your audience wants. That's the key. If you go, you can go to like any YouTube channel and look at their most popular video. If individuals deviate from that, then the algorithm just ignores them. But if you go to someone's channel and they have the same amount of views, um, it can differ. But if it's in this, the same figure, then you know that they're following a formula. And a lot of people on TikTok who are popular, they do that, like comedy channels. Like it'll what's a good person's name? There's a guy, I can't think of his
Mateo
name,
or
but who?
Mateo Lane. Mateo Lane. He's one that's like got a very he's a gay comedian that's got a very strong
Okay,
following on TikTok. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so you have to follow a formula.
Yeah.
And then for me, engagement is crucial. I'll see a lot of YouTubers specifically who they'll have maybe 10 comments on a video that they just uploaded, but they don't engage. And so they don't comment or reply to the comments on their channel. And so the algorithm prefers that you engage with people who are commenting on your channel. But I love to do that because there are people that have been following me for 5+ years,
Yeah.
and I light up when I see their username pop up. And you really have to build community. So I like using the community tab for non-videos. So I'll post like photos. I'll tell people like, oh, I'm working on this video, stay tuned. And so that really helps to build community. But also, I so before I was doing film related videos, I was very unsuccessful with doing reviews of TV shows. And so there was a person from Brazil who they were watching one of my videos, and they said that I only watch your videos because you seem um, really excited about talking about this, but I can't understand you. Can you translate this into Portuguese? And I was like, I have no idea how to do that. And
Yeah.
so I figured it out. And from that moment, when I started inputting subtitles in other languages, that's when I got a larger following from other countries. So
Yeah.
Brazil, India, and where else? Russia.
Yeah.
I have a big following there, and also like in Spanish speaking countries, a big
Yeah.
following.
Yeah. I love hearing all this. The day that you and I are sitting back over coffee or a cocktail and chatting more about this, we could probably go on for 2 hours on this
Ah,
stuff because
yes.
you're fantastic. We're very well aligned. Like
Oh,
there's so much I want to say, but I'm like, oh,
oh.
we'll drive our audience crazy.
Ah,
But no, I think this is amazing, and I really actually do look forward to not only seeing where you go with a lot of this, but then also following and connecting in the real world someday soon as well.
yeah, yeah. I feel like you travel all over, so whenever you
Yeah.
come to LA, we'll definitely hang out.
Yeah, being from LA, I go back there several times per year. So, but I
Okay.
think this is fantastic. And again, thank you for sharing a bit of your story with our audience. And we'll look forward to connecting soon.
Yes, I
All
can't
right,
wait.
thanks.
Feels good, so good.